Council of Legal Education has advocated for a more stringent qualification for the admittance of law graduates into the Nigerian Law School. The Council, through its acting chairman and president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. Abubakar Mahmood, SAN, proposed the adoption of a minimum qualification of second-class upper 2-1 for all intending lawyers in the country. Mr. Mahmood said it had become imperative for the Council to raise the minimum entry requirement into the Nigerian Law School so as to bring it at par with global standards. He made these comments at the formal handing over ceremony between the outgoing Director General of the Nigerian Law School, Dr. Olanrewaju Onadeko, SAN, and his successor, Professor Isa Hayatu Chiroma. Predictably, these comments have generated so much reactions and even panic in some quarters. I spoke to some senior lawyers to get their views on its workability and more.
The criterion that he has proposed, with due respect to me, my view is parochial. It's certainly too narrow, and I should like to say, I don't want to say elitist or something that's it's not deep enough, in the sense that grading in school, it does not reflect actually the capacity, the intellectual capacity and productiveness of the individual person. In fact, examination itself is a very narrow way of evaluating intelligence, because it dwells essentially on the power of recall. It doesn't promote fresh and original thinking. So it's and what you get in the classroom situation is different from real life situation. So, and then when you look at, so I wouldn't know whether, with due respect, Mr. Mahmood himself made a second-class upper in University of first class. I know many illustrious lawyers, by their grades, were nothing fantastic. Very popular one was Chief Ganefahimi, because an ordinary pass at the law school and all that. And so when you now say, and how do you even begin to say, somebody could make a second class lower or a third class in Ibadan, University of Ibadan, and yet actually much better than, say, somebody who maybe there's a university in Afikpo or Weri or something. How do you begin to evaluate? You've got to different schools before you know it, and you know there are some schools now, especially private universities, where they are even churning out first class. So since this is what, you know, Nigerians being what we are, our people just adapt and adopt again, and before you know it, everybody is just taking second class upper, and they are still as shallow as they are.
I beg to disagree with the one-way suggestion that only 2-1 should be admitted into law school. And my reasons are this. One, if we make 2-1 just a basic requirement to be admitted into the Nigerian law school, we may be doing more harm, in my opinion, as much as I respect that of my president. We may be doing more harm with regards to the fact that some people may not be able to earn a 2-1 from their university and have the propensity or the capacity to do better than somebody who has even a first class. Of course, first class is rare, you know, in the universities, you know, taking law program. However, what is most important, or what is more important, is to look at, you know, the point at which students are admitted to study law. We must be able to ascertain that people who are chosen or who are picked to study law are actually ready and willing to study that course. That course, everyone knows, is a special one, and that's why it's called a noble profession at the end of the day. So the first thing for us is to go back to where it all, you know, starts from. Before you are admitted to study law, do you really have the interest? Because what you find is that a lot of people just get into the university to study law. You know, in the course of the study, they lose interest, or they are not particularly, you know, endowed with the capacity of somebody who should study law.
The way we turn out lawyers these days, and you can find some lawyers who can't even draft letters. I don't know how they graduated. You understand? People refer to Gani, third class, students when he entered the law school. Gani's standard of education then was very high than what we have now. I think the standard of education, not only in law, but in generally had dropped. In some countries, Western world, you must have a first degree before you can read law. I think maybe that's what the MBA president, if I were him, that's where I would go. Before you go into read law, you must have a first degree. I think it kind of prepares you for what is ahead. 2-1, how did you make your 2-1? That's the issue. I would rather say a first degree, that is related to reading law than a 2-1. Because making a 2-1 does not make you a genius. Someone who made a first class cannot even defend the case more than somebody who made a third class in the court. It's when we get to court we know who is who. So I think I want to disagree, agree that yes, it shouldn't be straight from the secondary school or WAEC into reading law. I want the person to have a first degree first, then you can go ahead and read law. You are more matured and you know where you are going into, rather than going straight from the secondary school.
And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode of Law Weekly. Do feel free to send in your comments on any of our social media handles. You can also watch this episode of the program or past ones on our YouTube channel. I'm Shola Shoyeli. Thank you for watching.